Hi. Are you cozy? You ready? Okay. Hello and welcome back. Thank you for once again joining me in another discussion. If you're new here, like, subscribe, comment, do all the fun things. If you're not new here, do those things anyway because you want to, I hope. Anyways, alright. So let's get into it. Last week we talked about general reasons why people don't read. This time I asked my Instagram and Twitter followers, of which I have not that many. But it's okay because if you responded, I appreciate you for helping me out with content and also furthering this discussion. So I asked them why they don't read. We're going to get into more reasons why people don't read besides just the general ones. These are a little bit more specific. So grab a blanket, grab some food, grab some water, go do some chores, put me on the background. Let's get started. First, from a buddy of mine, reading more, scrolling through the masses for that one gem. I think he means that he's trying to read more and he's trying to scroll through a lot of books to find that one gem. And I feel like that you can burn yourself out on that after a little bit. So maybe take a break and then get back into it. But keep reading. Keep reading. I think that's a great reason why you do read. And if you get burnt out and that's why you stop reading, it's okay. Just jump back on the wagon. Next, feels harder than watching TV. Yeah. It definitely takes brain power to read a lot of the time. And after a long day, you kind of just want to sit and not have to use your brain and just look at pixels on a screen. But maybe try with some simple books and see if they kind of, energize you. I'll give an example here in a minute, but let me know if that works. Or maybe, just read a chapter at a time in a book. Maybe that'll get you a bit more used to it because you have to develop a habit of reading and it can be a little bit difficult. Third, used to love reading, but a bad book in high school ruined it for me. The House on Mango Street. I'm so sorry that book ruined it for you. I want to know more about why. But I also want to say, try something else. I think it's time that you can try something else. High school was 8 years ago for us now. 8, 6, 8, 10. You're what, 24? 6 years or so? I think you can try again. Just, I know who you are. Turn off Hamilton for like 30 minutes and read the book. Y'all think I'm joking, but this guy would literally, I interned with him from work. He's one of my best friends. He would listen to the whole Hamilton musical 3 times a day, at least. Dog, put Hamilton down for like 30 minutes. I'm begging you, and just do something else. I promise it'll be fun. Next, not stimulating enough for me to sustain attention. This is very interesting. And thank you for commenting this. I'm so sorry if I just hit the microphone. Let me readjust that. I'm just going to hold the microphone. Yeah, that's very interesting. Let's talk about that. Finding a book that stimulates you is very hard because you have to you play a factor in the stimulation. Because the book is obviously just text on a blank slate. You have to internalize, comprehend that text, and then develop the image that it's showing you, right? Or develop the story in your head of what it's telling you. And if your problem is not stimulating enough, maybe think about what you do find stimulating, right? And go after those books, or maybe work on making the words more stimulating to you in your head. Does that make sense? Like work on your image, your internal imagery. Maybe read a bit slower and really just like take in what they're saying and just walk through the scenery in your head, walk through the story in your head, walk through the conversations. I can't read a book without acting it out of my head anymore. I used to just read and it would just go straight through my brain and I would just keep reading fast. But now when I'm reading, it's like I'm seeing the visuals play out in my head much more, and that's what's stimulating me right now. Sometimes I turn it into like an anime, sometimes I turn it into a cartoon, sometimes I turn it into a live action. I think about who would play these characters or whatever. I find that very fun. Maybe try that. Discipline. Yeah. I think the discipline comes with finding initially those first couple of books that you really like, that you can read without needing the discipline, that motivate you to read, and then that leads up into I feel good when I'm reading. Or bike. I feel good when I'm reading. I feel like it's helping me mentally. I feel a bit more relaxed when I'm reading. And then that might lead us up into, okay, well, I've been feeling a bit anxious lately. I've been feeling a bit rough. I feel like I've been doing a lot lately. I want to slow things down. And maybe then maybe your discipline will then kick in and say, you know what? Reading helped. Let me keep doing this. Or this is probably the easiest thing to do, is you put a reminder on your phone, same time every day, 30-minute block, read. That's actually the easiest thing. I don't even know why I said the first thing first. If you want discipline in reading, you set yourself a daily reminder, 30 minutes, I'm reading. Every single day. And then it's once again on you to keep that up, because discipline is nothing without the mental fortitude to continue it, right? So those were a couple of the guys from Instagram. I had a couple of people from Twitter talk to me as well. My friend said, I read a decent amount, but I would prefer to read even more. What's stopping me is time and mental energy mostly. After work, chores, and cooking, I just don't have it in me a lot of the days. And even then, on the days that I do, I have so many things I want to do. And that is very fair. Time is always the issue, and you're never going to be able to read unless you make time initially, because if you aren't in the habit of reading, you're going to have to make time for yourself to sit down and read, even when you feel like you want to do something else. And then gradually your body, your mind will say, oh, I'm free, let me just pick up a book and read. Or, oh, I got this book the other day, I haven't started it, let me start that now. Something like that. That's where the time aspect comes in. Is first you have to force yourself to make time, and then you'll see your mind just wants to make time for it, because it feels good reading and everything. The mental energy part is fair, and I think that leads back into what I was saying about finding the books that refresh you, not drain you. The books that give you energy, not the books that take away energy from you. And those are dime in a dozen sometimes. You have to get through quite a few books to really sink your teeth into one and just not put it down. And there's always going to be an opportunity cost to reading. I hate using that word. It's so businesslike. It's so bad, but it's the best way for me to put it. There's always going to be something you're giving up to do it, right? And it's not like every time you have free time, that's when you read. But maybe, throughout the week, you kind of see, okay, I have free time here. Usually, I would do this time, let me read. I think that would be the first step to getting over that. There's so many things I want to do, because I'm the same way. I'm very much the same way. I want to game with my friends. I want to just chill and watch binge shows and things like that. And I want to just game by myself. I want to go work out. I want to be mobile. I also want to do nothing. I want to read. I also want to take videos. I also want to maybe cook or something like that. I also want to clean. I also want to work on my personal projects. I also want to design. There's so many things I want to do. Write it down. Write down everything that you want to do at the beginning of the week and kind of tell yourself, which ones do I want to do so badly? Put those a little bit earlier. Which ones do I want to do but not as badly? Those go next. And then which ones do I, if I didn't do this, it's okay. Those go last. And then kind of prioritize throughout the week. I have some free time, let me do this first. I have some free time, let me do that first. I have some free time, bam, perfect time for reading. It's late in the evening, I'm done with stuff early. Maybe I could go online and watch some videos or talk to friends. Or maybe I could make some tea, get some water, grab a blanket, even though it's 100 degrees outside, and cuddle up and read a good book or start my book. Something like that, you know? You could do it at least once a week. I think you could. No. I believe you can do it. And I think that would be the best way to, I guess, start getting back into it. And the last one that I have for you guys today. This is kind of a long one, so bear with me. I also appreciate you for sending this in. I used to read books to the point that when I would get grounded... Let me restart. I used to read books to the point that when I would get grounded, my parents would take away my books. Let me start that again. Sorry. I used to read books to the point that when I would get grounded, my parents would take away my bookcase. When I started college, I felt overwhelmed and that I didn't have enough time for a big commitment like reading a book, so I would instead mess around on my phone. Then, of course, a little bit of phone messing around slowly turns into... Love you, train. Slowly turns into hours of doom scrolling, and you end up spending the same or more time than you would have if you just read. Fair. Which sucks because reading books reflects your creativity, giving you perspectives, teaching you words, whatever. Whereas with Reddit or Twitter posts, you just get a lot of fluffy stuff to keep you engaged. There's a lot in there, and I agree with you. I agree with you that one, stepping away from reading and then coming back to it is always an obstacle because there's just so much that you sometimes feel like you have to catch up on. What are the new books out? Are there any further books to series that I was reading before? Did the authors I used to like have more books? These books nowadays are maybe the same formula that you don't like. These books nowadays feel the same. It's not true. Or, I'm just doing so much with my life right now. I don't have time to read a book. I'm doing so much with my life right now. I just can't even think about reading a book even though I want to. I'm on my phone. I think this starts with, once again, writing it down. Take it out of your brain and put it on paper. That's one of the biggest things that I feel like has helped me in the past is whenever I know I want to do something, I write it down. I have a whiteboard next to my desk over there that tells me my to-do list for just life right now. And on the side, it has kind of things that I can do in the morning: mobility, chores, read, do a quick push-up, pull-up, lunge circuit. And at the bottom of it, I wrote down be better. Now, all those things could just stay in my brain, but I'd forget about them. But I wrote it down and I put it in a place that I can visually see it all the time because I'm always on my desk. So it's always in my subconscious now. Like I should be doing this right now. And then gradually you will do it. A lot of the times it might just stay in your brain and you're not acting on it, but eventually you will do it because it's been there for so long you can't ignore it. And so just write it down and put it in a place where you see it. The power of visualization is crazy. So if you really want to start reading and you feel like you get absent-minded or forget about it, take the book you want to read and put it maybe by your bedside table or put it on your bed. So one of the first things you see when you wake up is your book. On a sticky note maybe. take a sticky note and put it like on your doors or in your kitchen, on your fridge or whatever, that says, read insert book title here. And that kind of reminds me, oh, I could be doing this. Oh, I should be doing this. Oh, I can do this right now. Yeah, that sounds fun. And then maybe start there. That's really all I had for you guys. I just wanted to come back, talk to you, individually, and talk about what it is you guys are kind of dealing with in terms of reading. And coming back to what one of my friends said, that reading does sometimes feel harder than watching TV. That's very true, and it really depends on the book that you get, though, because there's obviously a lot. You could obviously go back to the Rick Riordans and the Aaron Hunters. I'm trying to think about the authors, but those are the first that come to my head. That they make books for juveniles, so their books are very easy to digest. Unfortunately, J.K. Rowling's books as well, that they were made for juveniles, and so they're very easy to digest. There's absolutely no shame in starting there. There's absolutely no shame in starting with a book that's easy to read to get you back into reading that you enjoyed in the past, because those books still hold up with our age. Those books are great. And then from there you can go to something else. I was reading Ranger's Apprentice this entire time. I got sick of it by book 9, and so I finished book 9. I tried to start book 10. I couldn't do it, so I switched gears. I read The Atlas 6 by Olivier Blake. It took me about 2 weeks almost to finish book 9 of Ranger's Apprentice. It took me less than 48 hours to finish The Atlas 6. And that book was so hard to read sometimes, because she kept using, I swear she just looked up a thesaurus half the time and said, let me just insert this word here instead, because nobody uses those words. I don't know why she put those words in there. And so sometimes I was like, what are you saying? I don't comprehend what you're saying right now. And it was hard to read, but because I'd gotten off of reading all these, more juvenile Ranger's Apprentice, John Flanagan books, my brain was also craving a little bit of the complexity of these books, and I'd just jump right in. And I would still watch TV in the day. I would watch anime, and late at night I would watch anime, but a little bit early in the evening I'd read. And so that was amazing. Maybe, watch TV for a bit, turn it off, pull up the book. Don't try and multitask reading initially. I'm going to say that again. Don't try and multitask reading initially. Because what you're trying to do is develop a habit of focusing your attention on one point, on one thing, and that is the book that you are reading, the space that you are in, the moment that you are in. And if you try and multitask that, you're just not going to reap any of the benefits that you're trying to do initially. There are, a case could be made that a lot of people like to put on just trash TV and then have it in the background and then read a book. I'm not one of those people, because I feel like when I'm reading, I want to be in there. I want to be in that world. I don't want my eyes to flicker to something else, because then I'm not there. Then I'm just reading passively. At that point, what's the difference between reading and being on your phone scrolling, right? You're not fully engaged in one thing. You're multitasking. Your attention is split. Your eyes are split. You're developing a bad habit when you're trying to develop a good habit, right? So, turn it off, put your phone away, grab a good book, light a candle, turn your LEDs on. If you're reading something on a backlit, like a Kindle or a Nook or your phone or your laptop, if you try and read with LEDs, depending on your setup, it could be hard to read like an actual physical book. I tried. It was so dark, I couldn't make out the words. I'd turn my lights on. I was like, man, I wanted the cozy vibes. But I couldn't, so I'd turn my lights on and read. But it was still great. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. But I'm getting on a tangent once again. Back to the topic. Think about these things that I've said as to why you can't read and try implementing them today. Like literally today. Do not wait till tomorrow. Do not wait till the first of the coming month or the first of the coming week, or I'll wait till 2023 to start. No. Why would you? No, you're wasting so much time if you do that. Start now. That's all I had for you guys today. I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you once again for coming back to the archives, being a part of this discussion, being a part of the book club. Not the book club. Ew, I don't like that. Thank you for being a part of the roundtable. I hope to have more of these good discussions in the future. But until then, keep reading, keep enjoying, keep learning, and I'll talk to you guys later.